to Valmiki ji. Pujantam Ram Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakha Vande Valmiki Kokilam Hari Om. So namaste everybody. Plabha Nama Samvatsarasya Shubhashayaha. This is the first Sunday of this new year, and it is the name of the Samvatsar is Plava. So we'll start this Sunday's satsanga with the story of Plavaga Uttama, Hanuman. So Plavanga is also monkey. So the Uttama monkey, Hanuman, as we say, but he was a Vanachari. That's how I like to understand. So Hanumanji's entry in Ramayana happens in the fourth kanda. So after like half of the Ramayana is over, and in the fourth kanda, Kishkindha kanda, Hanumanji's entry happens. Till then, there is no mention of Hanumanji except for in the beginning a little bit when Brahmaji is telling that which Ansha, Dev Ansha have taken birth and in what. So apart from that, there is no mention of Hanumanji till then. And what happens is Sita ji has been taken away by Ravan. Ram and Lakshman, Sri Ram and Lakshman are looking for Sita. And they're going all around. They get to know from Jatayu that Ravan has taken away Sita ji by force, and he tells them somewhere he's gone somewhere in the south. Now Ram and Lakshman don't know where in south. They don't know who Ravan is. They don't know where Lanka is. They don't know even where Sita ji has been taken. So they go towards south, then they meet different people, then they meet this person, Danav called Kabandha, and Kabandha eventually directs them to Sugriva. So Kabandha says, you go to this Rishyamukh Parvata in Kishkindha, which is by the river Pampa, and there you will meet Sugriva. And Sugriva will finally help you to find Sita ji. So taking clue from Kabandha, Ram and Lakshman, they keep going south. They reach Kishkindha. And they reach the Kishkindha forest looking for Sugriva. Now Sugriva and Vali, his brother, they have had a massive fight. Vali has taken away Sugriv's wife as well. And he has thrown Sugriv out of his kingdom, of the Kishkindha kingdom. And Sugriv is trying to run away from Vali, because Sugriv thinks that Vali will kill him at any given moment. So Sugriv is very, very afraid of Vali, and Sugriv, along with his few trusted Sachiv, with his few trusted minister, is hanging around in Rishyamukh Parvat to escape from Vali. So when the ministers, the other monkeys who are with Sugriva, they see these two Nava Yuvaka, they see these two youth who are, very strong looking, who are very well muscled, and they're carrying this huge Dhanushya. They see them and they tell Sugriv that we see these two youngsters, this youth, these two young boys who look like princes, they are around here. And immediately Sugriv thinks that these two must have been sent by Vali to kill me, because that's the only thing Sugriv can think about. At any point, Sugriv thinks that Vali is going to kill him. And immediately when he hears about these two people, he starts jumping around from one peak to another, from one tree to another, from one mountain to another, very confused, in tension, what to do, what not to do, how will I escape? These guys are definitely going to kill me now, this, that. He's completely confused at that point. So Hanumanji, finally we are told that Sugriv has a Sachiv called Hanumanji. So this comes in Kishkindha Kanda, third chapter, third sarga of Kishkindha Kanda, and 13th shloka, where we are told that Sugriv is this running around completely confused. And then in that situation, one of his Sachiva, Hanuman, he says something. And in the 14th shloka is the first word spoken by Hanumanji. So Hanumanji says, Sambhrama Tyajyatam, give up your confusion. Behave like a king. How does a king behave? Buddhi Vijnana Sampannam. Buddhi Vijnana Sampannam Ingitaihi Samacharaha. Behave like a king, use your head, use your buddhi, use your understanding, and using the right kind of body language, do what must be done. Don't just come running around. Don't get so stressed. Don't be so impulsive. think through what needs to be done. And Hanuman also reminds Sugriv that in this Rishyamukh area where we are currently based, Vali cannot come. And there is a background story to it. Vali has been cursed from coming to that Rishyamukh area. Matang Muni had said that if Vali comes in that area, he will be killed. He will die as soon as he puts his foot in that area. So Vali cannot come here. So you don't worry, that is not going to happen. You relax. Let's figure out properly who these people are. Sugriv is still not completely sure that Vali will not send these kind of people. So he's like, you know what? We can't trust anybody just like that. As soon as we let our guards down, we will be attacked by the enemy. So it's better to be cautious all the time. But you are right. We must figure out what's going on. We must figure out who these two people are. So you, Hanuman, you go and figure out who these people are. And Sugriv also tells him that don't go in your Vanara vesh, don't go in your Vanachari vesh. Take some other vesh of a normal person, of any other common person over there, and then you go so that you actually know who these people are, and very carefully you study their words, you study their actions, you study how they look, you study how they see, and all of that. And then if you think that these people are good, then try to convince them to become my friends. Then get them on my side. But first figure out who they are. So Hanumanji does exactly that. What Hanumanji does? He takes a rupa of a bhikshuka, of a tapasvi. He takes a rupa of a bhikshuka and goes to Sri Ram and Lakshman, the two young men who are over there. And what does he do? So I'll share a slide of the first words spoken by Hanumanji to Sri Ram and Lakshman when they meet. So it is here. You can see my screen, right? So Hanumanji's first encounter with Sri Ram and Lakshman. So Hanumanji is in the getup of a bhikshuka. He's given up his vanachari. He's given up his vanar avatar. And what does he say? Just one sec. He says, Raj Rishi Deva Pratimau Tapasau Sanshita Vratau Desha Katham Imam Praptau Bhavantau Varavarinau Trasayantau Mrugaganal Anyascha Vanacharina. So the first words which Hanumanji speaks to these two young men who he doesn't know who they are. And he has to find out without giving away who he is, that who these people are. So he says, you both boys, you look like Raj Rishi. You are as in the roop of a deva. Looking at you, I think you must definitely be some divine avatar. And you are dressed like a tapasi. You are dressed as if you are some tapasvi who's taken some very dhruda vrata. Why are you here? Desham katham imam praptau. Why have you come to this desha? Bhavantau Varavarina, or you two people. So Bhavantau, Tapasau, this is all used in dual because he is addressing both Ram and Lakshman. So in Sanskrit, we have singular, plural, but we also have dual. Unlike English, we have dual as well here. When two things are spoken together, when two people are spoken together. So here it's Ram and Lakshman. Hence, everywhere you see Raja, Rishi, Deva Pratimau, Tapasau, Sanshrit Vratau. These are all adjectives which Hanumanji is using for Ram and Lakshman. So he says, you two people who look like Deva Pratima, you are in the roop of a Deva. Why have you come to this Desh, to this Kishkindha, which is, a dense forest? Why are you here? And then he says, Trasyantau Mrugaganal Anyansya Varnacharina. And your presence is actually bringing fear, is scaring everybody else. Now you see, Kishkindha is actually a very dense forest. There are very few people around there. There are very few, there are lots of wild animals over there. But instead of saying that, Arey, why are the two of you here? Aren't you scared that something will happen to you? This Mruga this animals, this wild animals will do something to you. He doesn't say that. He wants to see how these two guys react because they are, in the vesh of a tapasvi, but they're carrying a dhanushvan, they're carrying talwars and all that. Yeah. So he's also not sure who they are. So hence, instead of saying that, aren't you afraid? He turns it around and he says, your presence is carrying away even the wild animals. Then Hanumanji says, Imam Nadim Shubhajala Shobhayantau Tapasvino. He first says that, okay, you are walking here by the Pampa Tir and looking at the trees around, But by your presence, what is happening? Imam Nadim Shubhajalam, this Pampa Nadi, Shobhayantau Tapasvinau, is actually, you are increasing the Shobha. You are giving more Shobha, you are giving more grace and more beauty to what? To the Nadi itself. You know, again, he's using very nice words. He's using words which will basically please whoever the listener is. Very beautiful words, very flattering words. Then he says, Dhairyavantav, Suvarna Abhav, Kau Yuvam Chiravasasav. He says, you both look very firm, very perseverant, very Dhairyavan. And how is your aura? He says, Suvarna Abhav. It's as if you have a very golden aura around you. You both are shining with Tej. You are resplendent. So who are you to Yuva who have this golden aura, who have this Tej around them? But how are they dressed? In Chiravasav. You are just wearing a cheer. You are just wearing a, simple animal skin, some kusha grass dress, some vulgar dress around you. Like how tapasvi wear. And then he says, Nishwasantau Varabhujau Pidyantam Imam Prajaha. Nishwasantau, Nishwasalena. When we sigh. So he's saying by this sighing, this breathing of yours, just by this breathing of yours, what is happening? Pidyantam Imam Praja. The Praja here, all the animals, all the people, the Vanachari living here are actually getting harassed. They are scared. They are getting troubled just by your mere presence. Such is your aura that nobody can ignore your aura. This kind is your aura. So you see, he has used all these very flattering words for Sri Ram and Lakshman. And he doesn't stop there. He goes on to say, how are you? You are Siha Skandha. Your shoulders are like a sea, are like lion. Your arms are like what? He says, Hasti Hasa Bhujao. Hasti Hasta Bhujao. Like the trunk of an elephant. Your hands are strong like the trunk of an elephant. How are your eyes? He says, Siha Prakshipitau. You both are looking very firmly. You are taking everything around you. We say Sihavalokan, right? So you have the drushti of a sea who takes everything around his shikar, everything around the mruga that he's going to kill. He takes that into account. And hence he is so sharp that the mruga can't escape. So he's saying your vision is like that of a siha. And your bahu, he already said, is like the trunk of an elephant. And the way they are shaped, they need to be adorned with ornaments. But they are not adorned with ornaments. So why is that so? You both have the rupa of some Kshatriya princes, but you are dressed like a tapasvi. Who are you guys? Tell me something about you. People are getting scared of you. And he keeps on going like this, flattering them. But and at that time, had it been any normal person, they'd be like, oh, of course, I'm hearing such nice things. They will be very flattered. They'll come out and start telling, Arey, we are from here. We've come from here. Anybody flatters you, you're very easy. It's very easy for you to open up, right? That's an icebreaker. You nicely start telling everything to that person. You start trusting that person. He's told you such good things. But Ram, Lakshman are not like that. Ram, Lakshman are very smart, very practical, very good Vyavharik buddhi they are. They're like, who is this person who's suddenly coming and telling us all these flattery words? They don't say anything. They just keep quiet. They let Hanuman say whatever he wants. So then Hanumanji is a little flustered. So what he says, Evam mam paribhashantam kasmad vaina abhibhashatah. I have said so many things to you. I have asked you so many questions. Why aren't you saying anything? Even then, Ram Lakshman are quiet. They still want to see what this person says. Because this Bhikshuka looking person, he's using such nice words. He's using such perfect language. They still want him to tell who he is before they start giving out who they are. Yeah, they start disclosing more about themselves. So then immediately Hanuman understands that my style or my approach is not so easily going to flatter them. I won't be able to get through them to tell me the truth just like that. So let me actually tell them the truth and tell them who I am. So he says, you know what, actually who I am? I am Sachiv of Sugriva. Sugriva is this, he was once upon a time the queen of the Vanacharis here. And he is in Rishyamukh Parvat and I am his Sachiv. I am also a Vanara. I am a Vanachari, but I have taken this rupa of a Bhikshuk because I wanted to see who you two are. Sugriv has sent me, and Sugriv actually wants mitrata with you. He wants sakhyata with you both. Okay, so he comes straight to the point. When he sees that getting through Ram Lakshman is not easy, and looking at them, he also knows that these people are not to be taken lightly. They have that tej and aura. So he tells them clearly, very briefly, who he is, very clear, without beating around the bush. Okay. Now, when Hanumanji tells them that he is a Sachiv of Sugriva, Ramji smiles, Prahashtavadanam. He becomes very happy. And he tells Lakshman that, Arey, we are coming to look for Sugriva, and here Sugriv's own Sachiv has come to look for us. And he seems to be somebody who's very well spoken. So then Sri Ramji actually describes to Lakshman his observation of Hanuman. They don't know who Hanuman is. They have only just met him. They have only just had the first interaction with him, where Hanumanji has just spoken to them, is trying to understand who they are. Yeah. So then Ramji now describes or shares with Lakshman his assessment, his observation of Hanumanji. And that's also very interesting. So I'll share that also with you. Why can't I share? Just one sec. Okay. 1 second, I'll just share again. Okay. So Sri Ramji's assessment of Hanumanji. The first sentence Sri Ramji says is, Na Nrugaved Vinitasya. Basically he's saying Nrugaved is basically Na Rugaved Vinitasya. Na Yajurved Avadhari. Na Yajurved Dharinaha. Na Samved Vidushakaha Shakyam Eva Vibhashitum. Na Rugved Ved Viditasya. So Sri Ramji says that the way this person has spoken, it cannot be said by anybody who is actually not learned in Rigved, Yajurved, and Samved. Okay. So his first assessment is that this person seems to be very well learned in the Vedas. And why is Sri Ramji saying that? So we'll come back to the shloka after we go through the other descriptions that Sri Ramji shares. So he says, Nunam Vyakranam Krutsnam Anena Bahuda Shrutham Bahu Vyaharata Anena Na Kinchit Apashabditam. So Sri Ramji says, Nunam Vyakranam Krutsnam Anena. Definitely this person has learned Vyakran very well. And how is he? He's Bahuda Shrutam. Bahuda Shrutam is very well learned, very learned person. And learned in what? Very well learned in Vyakran, grammar. He knows grammar very well. He's learned it very well. Bahu Vyaharata Anena Na Kinchit Apashabditam. He has spoken so much to us. We were quiet all the while. He has only initiated the conversation. He has spoken so much to us. But in spite of so much speaking, Na Kinchit Apashabditam. He has not used even one wrong word. He's not used even one, he's not uttered a single wrong word. No wrong pronunciation, nothing. He has used exactly the right words. He has said, and he has said it also properly. Then Sri Ramji says, Na mukhe netrayo na cha api lalate cha bhruvo tatha anyeshu api cha sarveshu doshaha samviditah kakvachit. So then he says, and while he was talking, you know, sometimes when we talk, you know, any person you see talking sometimes, either they would be, you know, sometimes they will not look eye into eye, they'll look around. There will be, if they're stressed, it will show on their face. They'll have a frown on their face. There will be something or the other, some body language, because, you know, when you speak, your body language goes with it. So Sri Ram says that when he was talking, his body language was also perfect. You could not point out any flaw in his face, in his eyes, in his forehead, you know, in his eyebrows. They all were as they should be, as is expected of a good Vakta. Okay? So he says, you can't find any dosh in this person. He has spoken like a good Vakta should be speaking. Yeah. Then he says, Avistaram, Asandigdham, Avilambitam, Avyatham, Urustham kanthagam vakyam vartate madhyame swaram. So till now, he is saying that, okay, this person seems to be very learned. He was describing the person who was speaking, that he seems to be very learned. He's learned in Vedas. He didn't use a single wrong word. And his body language, his facial expressions were perfect, as one would expect. You couldn't find any flaw in that. Now he's talking about the word said. He's talking about the Vani of Hanumanji. He says, Avistaram. It was very concise. You know, generally, if you do one of these communication classes, they'll say that when you write or when you speak, you shouldn't have very long words, very long sentences. They should be concise, they should be brief. They should be such that they hold the listeners or the reader's attention. So he says there was no vistar. He's not describing away for the heck of it. It was very concise. Whatever he wanted to convey, he conveyed it in a very brief, concise manner. Asandigdham. There was no confusion in what he said. The message he wanted to bring across to us was very clear. Yeah, no confusion, no vagueness at all in what he was saying. Whatever he was saying, exactly the same we were perceiving. The same understanding was coming to us. So the way he was saying, it wouldn't create any confusion. Very clear. Avilambitam. There was no delay in his communicating of the message. He was not beating around the bush. To make a point, he was not going around and around and around and making a point. Very clear. He was clear. He was brief, concise, and he came to the message when he wanted to come without beating around the bush, very directly. And avyatham. There was no hesitation. There was no shivering in his voice. You know, sometimes when a person is speaking, they'll be like, then there'll be some shaky voice. There's nothing. Very clear. Avyatham. The flow was perfect. The flow was very smooth. Urustham kanthagam vakyam. His sentences were coming out from the right place. You know, when we do ucharan, when we say anything, different akshara are created in different parts of our mouth. So if you say ka, it's a kanthagam. It comes from ka, ha. It all comes from the throat. Yeah, which is kanthagam. Then there are words which are danta. So we say ta, tha, da, dha. So that is all dantavya, which in which the tongue touches the teeth, stuff like that. Yeah. So it is all the varnamala that we have. It's very clear from where those ucharan, from where that sound should come, how the technicalities of the sound. And he's saying the technicality of his speaking, of his ucharan, exactly from where the sound should come, from where the words come, they are coming. And how is his tone? Not very loud, not very soft. It is very madhyam swara. You know, he's talking in a very madhyam swara. The pitch is not too high, the pitch is not too low. It is as it must be in the madhyam swara. Then Ramji says, sanskara krama sampannam adbhutam avilambitam ucharayati kalyanim vacham hridayam harshinim. So then he says, and the word usage, sanskara krama sampanna, the vani that he has, the vacham, the language he used, it was very refined. It was very polished of somebody who is, you know, somebody who is, say, noble, who's learned very well. Sanskara krama sampanna, very fine, very refined. Like we say, Sanskrita is samyak kritam, done very well. What is not Sanskrita, what is used by anybody and everywhere is prakruta. Yeah. So Sanskrita, done, created to perfection. The words he used, the languages used was perfect. It was adbhutam. Some other places use the word adrutam, which is continuous flow. Yeah. It came out continuously. He didn't stop anywhere. He didn't stop to think. The flow was there when he was speaking. Vilambitam, again, we saw it before. Ucharayati kalyanim vacham hriday harshinim. The way he spoke was very refined and it touched your heart. It pleased the listener. Now, he has said all this. This is in relation to the first shloka, where he says, na rugved viditasya, na yajurved adharinaha, na samaved vidushakaha, vidushakyam eva vibhashitum. So it is not possible for somebody who's not learned the Vedas to be such a good speaker. Why? Because when people learn the Vedas, when they used to learn the Ved at that time, there were 6 parts, there were 6 angas which were learned with the Vedas. Shiksha, Chanda, Nirukta, Kalpa, Jyotisha. So, you know, there were 6 such things, of which Shiksha was very important. So what happened in Shiksha? Shiksha was all about your pronunciation. Yeah. How do you pronounce the words? how much bala do you put in the ucharan? It's all about ucharan. The perfection of your ucharan is taught in shiksha. Yeah. Similarly, what kind of words you use, using the right word for the right thing. Do you understand the correction? Do you understand the simile and stuff? So nirukta and all of that. Yeah. Chanda, there is a rhythm, there is a flow in the way he's speaking. So all these things are taught to somebody who learns the Vedas. And hence Sri Ramji says that the way Hanuman has spoken, his oratory is of that one who's extremely learned, Bahushruta, Bahudashrutam. So this was Ramji's first impression of Hanumanji. And to wrap it up, he says something even more interesting. Yeah, he says, एवं गुण गुणयुक्तः यस्य स्युः कार्य साधकः तस्य सिद्ध्यन्ति सर्वार्थ दूत वाक्य प्रचोदिता. Sri Ramji says, a king who has a duta like him, a king who has an ambassador like him, who has all these guna, who's such a good orator, he is a karya sadhaka. All sarvartha, whatever he wants to achieve will get achieved. This person, he is so good. He's such a good orator, so firm. His words are full of conviction and they are said in the perfect manner. So, so this was Sri Ramji's impression of Hanumanji. And then after this, Sri Lakshman speaks to Hanumanji and says, you know, we've heard about all the guna of Sugriva. We've also come to meet him. So we'll do as you say, we also accept his friendship. Yeah. And then then we move on and the entire Sugriv Ram Maitri happens. So that's how it proceeds. But in this third sarga of Kishkindha Kanda, we get to know the first impression of what Sri Ramji has of Hanuman. And it is from here that the relationship, the bhakti of which drenches us even today is going on. So this is how Sri Ram and Sri Lakshman met. And with this, I would say Plava Nama Samvatsarasya Shubhashaya once again. Siyavara Ramachandra ki jai, Pavan Sut Hanuman ki jai. Thank you so much.